Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for the Tech Guy is provided by Cachefly. CACHEFLY.com. Hi, this is Leo Laporte, and this is my Tech Guy podcast. This show originally aired on the Premier Radio Networks on Saturday, February 16th, 2013. This is episode 953. Enjoy. The Tech Guy podcast is brought to you by ShareFile.com. Enhance your workflow. Send files of almost any size easily and securely with ShareFile from Citrix. Try ShareFile today for a 30-day free trial. Visit ShareFile.com, click the radio microphone, and enter Tech Guy. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the Tech Guy. And it's time to talk about computers and the internet and cell phones and home theater and all that jazz. Actually, our home theater guru, Scott Wilkinson, is taking the week off. How dare he? Oh, yeah, I did that just a couple weeks ago. Okay, it's all right then. But we do have our Johnny Jett, our travel expert, and our gadget guru, the Giz Wiz, coming up later in the show. But mostly this show is about your calls, your questions, your thoughts about what's happening in the tech world. Kind of hard to figure out what the story is with this Microsoft Surface. Have you been kind of following this? A week ago, Microsoft introduced its first PC ever. Microsoft for years has made Windows operating systems for other people. But for the first time ever, they said, hey, we should make PCs too. They released the Surface tablet 3 years ago. That was a tablet thing, running a tablet version of Windows. But this is the real deal. This is Windows 8 on a Surface. It's still a kind of a tablet with a snap-on keyboard. You've seen the ads. They've advertised it everywhere. And apparently there was a lot of interest for it. It's hard to gauge because they sold out almost instantly. And that's kind of a shocker, to be honest with you, because here's a big company like Microsoft, and I presume they understood the demand for the Surface Pro, but it happens all the time, doesn't it? Apple does it and so forth. You could still get a Surface Pro 64 gig version, but apparently nobody wants that. Everybody wants the larger amount of memory. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, good news. I just went to the Microsoft store online, store.microsoft.com. For the longest time, they have radio buttons next to which Surface Pro. For the longest time, there was the radio button for the big one. You couldn't even click it. It was like, well, we had it, but we don't have it anymore. Now they've made it alive again. Order now for shipment by March 1st. What happened? What happened? Was demand way beyond the expectations of Microsoft? Was Microsoft being humble? We probably won't sell very many of these. And the communication, unfortunately, this is where Microsoft has not done well of late. The communication about what went on has been very poor. There's an opportunity to step up to the microphone and say, hey, look, our first PC, and we couldn't keep it in stock. We only had, people came and we sold. And of course, they'll never say, I wish they would. We sold 100,000. We sold 1 million. What did they sell? We don't know. Well, good news, I guess. You can, if you really want a Surface Pro 128 gig, you can get it March 1st. The 64 gig is in stock now, but apparently nobody wants it, and I think that's probably reasonable. There's not a lot of storage on it. After you put the operating system on there, there's about 40 gigs left, and people want more. It's funny. I remember when it was a big deal that a computer sold with a 2 gigabyte hard drive. Now 40 gigs. Oh, I don't know if I can do it. Have your documents gotten that much bigger? The 128 gig Surface Pro is $999, and that's minus the keyboard, the type cover, they call it. Now you add another $129 for that, and we're talking $1,129 for the new Surface Pro. So the real question is, should you wait? I think it's interesting that people really, I think there's a sense that, well, it's the Microsoft version. We see that with the Google phones too. They're in great demand. Oh, it's the Google version. I want that Nexus 4 because that's the official version. This is the official version of Windows 8. And yet it really isn't probably the best Windows 8 device out there. There are other devices for less. There are other devices that I think are better built. Certainly, no one would argue they're as good. Battery life on the Surface Pro is only 4 hours. There are other devices with better battery life. Does it mean that... now, this is my question, and I wish we knew. Did they make 10? Did they make a million? You know, saying it's sold out doesn't say anything. It just they sold more than they made. But how many do they make? Is this a huge success for Microsoft? It's always a little bit of a failure if you can't make enough, right? Apple, this has happened to Apple many times. You want to have as many as you can sell right away. People might move on, might go somewhere else. What do you think of the Surface Pro? Have you looked at it? Did you get in line at the store? Did you show up? Apparently, stores like Best Buy had from 0 128 gig versions to 2. Microsoft seems to have reserved it for their own Microsoft stores. I don't know. Just something feels odd about this, that they sold out so fast, and now they won't have more till March 1st. Are they on a boat? They're on the Carnival Triumph. That's it. They're being towed here. No wonder. Where are they? And why is it taking so long? It does look a little bad for on Microsoft. But you might say, well, look, you see Windows 8, it's better than you've been saying, Leo. You've been saying don't buy Windows 8, and look, all these people want Windows 8. Maybe. I think really the PC market is what's really hurting, isn't it? Even Apple just lowered the price on their notebook computers. I don't remember Apple ever doing this. The MacBook Pro with Retina 13 inches down to a couple $100. They've added more power to the other ones. I don't remember Apple ever doing that. It seems to me it's in response to the fact, not to Microsoft Surface, but to the fact that people aren't buying PCs. They're buying tablets, aren't they? And certainly Apple's making more tablets or selling more tablets than they can make. So let's see, what else? A little bit of a slip up in Google Play. I always like to talk about privacy and security issues so that you can keep up on all of this. Google Play is the store for Android devices. You've probably been there if you have an Android phone where you go and you buy something. Turns out, and I'm sure they'll fix this, turns out they have, when you buy something on the Google Play Store, Google sends the name, email address of customers to the developer. They didn't ask, they don't tell, and most consider this a great privacy violation. I'll give you an example. What if you're a developer and you get a bad review from somebody on the Google Store? Well, now you got their email address and their home address. So this is not something Google should be doing, and it's certainly something that if they are going to do it, they should ask your permission. Google does say they share your information between Google services, but it also says they will ask for your consent before using information in a way that we don't say we're going to do, which would include sending it out to developers. That seems like more like a mistake. Google makes a lot of privacy mistakes. It seems like another one of those. Did you know, I didn't know this, there are giant camera resolution test charts spread out all over the United States? Giant, I mean big, like, 40 feet, 50 feet, 80 feet. They're all over the U.S. And if you can even see them on Google Maps, or Google Earth, if you know where to look, they've been there since the 50s, some of them, and the 60s, used by aerial surveillance airplanes to test their cameras. Giant camera charts. It's quite I'll put a link in the show notes to this article about it. It's quite a thing to see. They're huge. Edwards Air Force Base has the highest concentration. There are 15 targets all over the Edwards Air Force Base. And if you know where to look on Google Maps, you can see them very clearly. And if you happen to be flying over them, you could test your camera's resolution. Wouldn't be a bad way to do that if you've got a spy cam. 8888 Ask Leo. That's my phone number. I'll tell you what. Let's open the lines. We'll take some calls. Talk high tech. 888-827-5536. The website techguylabs.com. We'll talk in a bit. Yeah, it's petapixel.com. That's it. Let me give you the link. Yeah, I wonder, you know, the drones, this would be
IT could be the worst job in the world.
It can be the best job in the world. It's a great job when
Wouldn't
you're a
that
hero
be
and you do
useful?
the job right.
All right, now I'm going to do this every time
tools,
this doesn't
especially
work.
Tools that don't slow you down or give you support nightmares. That's why I use and recommend
Is it-
Go2Assist from Citrix. One simple integrated cloud-based product that does it all, baby. With Go2Assist, you can quickly and easily log incidents and track resolutions with the Service Desk module.
This every
Their
time. Now
world-famous
what it's
number one
doing?
remote support module lets you troubleshoot
The
problems
Cisco
anytime,
one, the
anywhere,
VPN client
even
wants
from
you
your
to have
iPad
my
or Android
password.
device, and it's lightning fast. And then add the third module, Go2Assist monitoring, and now you're proactively monitoring the condition of your network, hardware, even toner cartridges, and you get instant, IMs or SMS messages if a problem happens, so you could solve it before it becomes a big problem. How to use Go2Assist. Sign up for your 30-day
Why
free
do we
trial
have so
today.
much trouble with
Visit
this?
Go2Assist.com. Click the Try It Free button.
Should I
Use the
reboot?
promo code Leo. That's Go2Assist.com. Promo code.
Hey, Leo.
Yeah.
The
Hey, I
internet
just
is an absolute
emailed
necessity
you
for
that
our everyday
password.
life. We all know there's.
Oh, is it new?
The new IP. So just when you close out today, just hit save on it, and it should save it from now on.
Okay, I got the new IP address, but there's also a new password.
Keystroke loggers,
Oh,
little beasties out
on
there
our
with
end, I
a
think. Hey,
simple
Nathan,
answer.
is it just you just make up the password,
32
right?
from
No, this isn't for the. This is for the VPN.
heuristics.
Yeah, it's
I was never
never
asked for this before.
Can I tell it to you, or is it? Do you not want me to tell it?
No, just email it to
As
me.
real ones
Okay.
trying to trick you into giving personal information out. Nod 32's got an
But it's my
anti-phishing
name. It's L. Laporte.
protects and blocks them. PC Magazine just gave it the most consumer recommended award in the security category. Try the latest and greatest version 6 free for 30 days. Go to eset.com/Leo or call 866-935-ESET. 866-935-ESET. Don't forget to like ESET USA on Facebook, and you get their new social.
You can name the username whatever you want.
Wall, newsfeed, and private messages for bad stuff. If you use Windows, you need Nod 32.
Are you? That's for the VPN. So I have to get through the Cisco client launches, and that's to get me to the VPN, and then I log into the call screening. You're talking about the VPN password?
Oh, my bad, Leo. I thought that.
No, I can't even get into the VPN.
Oh shoot, sorry.
I don't know why. Yeah, I know these phone IP has changed, but I can't, if I don't have the IP, if I don't have the VPN, I can't get to the, that's a local IP anyway. Oh, Lordy. I wonder why this has been so problematic. John just ran away. I don't know anything about it. What do you mean? Yeah, I'm on the Gigapan. C-Sound. Somebody found it. The Gigapan of the Super Bowl. At least you could see Lisa and me. Somebody found it. It's screwed and glued. There are 9. That's actually a good story. iFixit took it apart, and there are 90 screws on the Surface Pro, and some stuff's glued. Not all of it. The battery's not glued in. So who's the first caller? Because I'm not going to be able to get this working.
Ron in Colton, California, Leo.
Thank you. And you'll have to pick it up and hang it up.
Got it.
I turn my camera on. I cut my fingers on the way.
Leo Laporte.
the tech guy. 8888 Ask Leo. That's the phone number. Toll free for anywhere in the U.S. And if you're outside the U.S., you can even, well, we do have a lot of listeners on the internet. You can even call us. You just use Skype or some other voice over the internet VoIP product and call that number. +1 888-827-5536. And you'll be able, it won't cost you anything. We also have a website, as I mentioned, techguylabs.com. You'll find a link there to our chat room. Get on in there if you want to be part of the kibitzers, the kids in the back of the class who give me a hard time and give me answers a lot of the time. techguylabs.com. Ron's in Colton, California, our first call of the day. Hey, Ron.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. Welcome.
Hi, thank you. I'm having a problem, and I've had my IT guy looking at it. He spent a few hours trying to fix it. It's on an HP Windows 7 laptop, and the windows keep tabbing out. For example, I could be typing an email in Outlook and pause for a moment, and next thing you know, the cursor disappears, and I don't know where it goes. If it goes back to the desktop or to another application or what. But
when it disappears, like it jumps, or it disappears, like it goes away.
It goes away. I can't.
And if you move it, does it come back?
If you move the mouse,
yeah.
So you have to click. You have to click back on the window you're working in, and it'll happen in IE Explorer or other applications as well. And this just started about a month or two ago. I've had the machine about 2 years now.
Yeah, it's stealing focus, it sounds like. So that's what you call it. So the topmost window in a windowing operating system has the focus. That's the one where all data entry goes. And that's where your mouse cursor should be. But if another window asserts itself, you've seen this happen. You've got one window open and you click another window. Now anything you type goes into that topmost window. It has the focus, they call it. So you're sitting in your Internet Explorer window and you want to type or you want to click. There's nothing on top of it, but suddenly you can't do that. You have to click it again. You have to take You have to take back focus.
I've searched the web, and on the 7forums.com website, there's a guy that posted on there. He's got a similar problem, and he calls it Windows 7 tapping out problem. And like I said, this thing just started happening about a couple months ago, and the only correlation I can figure out is we bought a new printer back then, and loaded the drivers, and I don't remember if that's when the problem happened or not. And sometimes it's more prevalent than others. Like sometimes I can reboot and it won't be as much of a problem, and sometimes it can be a real big problem.
Well, something's stealing the focus. So there's a few possibilities here. There could be, normally you don't, something's stolen focus because its window will pop up. If you're in a web page, for instance, and you get a pop-up window, that window now has focus, and if you type, it goes into that window. If you click, it goes into that window, right? But that happened because you see the pop-up window. But what if Windows did that without putting a window up front? And so there's a couple of possibilities. You could have installed some software that's putting up invisible windows. The first thing I would do is close any software that's running, just to see if it's a program you've got running. If Skype's running, make sure that's closed. Close every program except the one you're using.
Okay.
And if that's what's going on, you might want to make a note of when it gets better because it's that program.
Okay.
So it's possible you installed a poorly programmed or a broken program that's doing that. It's also possible that. I'm looking at a Microsoft community page where a lot of people are having this same problem. It's not unusual, and it's all different possibilities. It's even possible that spyware or malware is on your system, and it's doing it.
Well, he ran an antivirus and a spyware, malware, and all that stuff. And
here's a guy saying it was something called Gladinet, a Gladinet application that generated it. I updated it, and now it's better. Here's a guy who said it was Bluetooth. He disabled Bluetooth in his control panel, and it was better. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. There's no one solution to this. You've got to figure out what is stealing focus. You know, there's somebody has a keyboard ambient automatic sensor on his Dell. I never even heard. I don't know what that would be. Maybe he's talking about the keyboard light, backlight. So I'll put a link to these. It's just kind of fun read because there's so many things that can cause this. I'll put a link to this on our website at techguylabs.com. But the point being, if you look for losing focus, because that's what it's not. I don't know what this. I've never heard this phrase tap out. But it is what it is happening is your windows are losing focus because you can click in the topmost window and it goes back and comes back and everything's fine, right? Until it happens again.
Then it can randomly disappear or do it again.
Yeah. Some program is running in the background and stealing. Think of it as stealing the mouse.
It's extremely frustrating.
Yeah, I bet it is. I bet it is.
You recommend I run the Windows Update fix or anything like that?
Well, you do run Windows Update regularly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure you run those anyway because they're security fixes. I don't think this is something that's broken in Windows. I think what it is there's a program that's installed that is running in the background. So what you want to do is close everything you can. Even open a Task Manager. You know, hit Control Alt Delete and tap Task Manager and delete and close anything that you aren't using and see if that solves it. Because there is some program that's doing that. Now, the couple of people are reporting that it's coming from Bluetooth. Do you have a Bluetooth keyboard or mouse?
No. Because it happens whether I have my external keyboard and mouse plugged in or not. It's the kind that has a little thing that you put into your USB.
Yeah. So this is a laptop.
Yeah, it's a laptop.
It's a laptop.
When I get to my office, I plug in an external keyboard and mouse, but it doesn't matter whether I have the external keyboard and mouse plugged in or whether I'm just operating, mobile on the laptop.
Yeah. Another person in our chat room says, I had that. It turned out to be the audio mixer software. In other words, there's no one. It could be a variety of different programs. Since you said it happened when you installed the printer, you might try uninstalling the printer and see if that fixes it. Sometimes it's coincidental you did something, but it's always a good thing to pay attention to. I did something, and then something went wrong. Well, undo that thing you did because that may well have had something to do with it. Make sure you don't have any toolbars installed on your browser. You have toolbar apps installed on your browser like ask.com, things like that.
Well, I have the Google and the RoboForm.
Oh, RoboForm could do this easily. RoboForm, uninstall RoboForm. And see what happens. That's an automatic fill-out feature. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. That's what it is.
All right, Leo, you're on.
I just like to play the game. Why did Kyle play this song? It will come to me. Sounds like a movie theme, doesn't it? Is this Gremlins? RoboCop?
Got it.
Why RoboCop? The chat room got it. I have no idea. Is this the anniversary of the famous Robo? Oh, because RoboForm. I get it. RoboForm was, I think, by the way, our last caller. That's it. Do you know what RoboForm is? It's a interesting product which I have used and no longer do. It's just as its name might imply, it fills in forms for you automatically. Anything like that is always going to be the first thing you look at if you've got something, stealing focus, doing weird stuff in the background. It's RoboForm. So, caller, if you disable RoboForm, I think that's a very very good idea. Something you should try right now. Kirk in Los Angeles, Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hi, Kirk.
Hi, Leo. Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for calling.
I'm curious what you might know about a new Samsung product. It's called the Samsung ATIV Smart PC Pro.
The ATIV.
High-end convertible tablet.
Yeah.
In particular, just whether you're hearing good things about it, it seems like it's getting some good user reviews online.
Yeah, I like it.
It's expensive, and I'm curious whether I'm going to be able to use it with my old monitors I've got sitting on my desk with my current desktop, or whether I need new generation monitors since it is a touchscreen, tablet.
Yeah. Now, which ATIV are you looking at? Which model?
The 700T.
700T.
Yeah.
All right. Let me just look at that here.
The A04US is the 64-bit Windows 8 Pro model.
Yeah, this is their Windows 8. This is their response, in a way, to Microsoft Surface Pro. And a lot, as you can see, a lot more. It's more expensive.
Right.
Well, not a lot more expensive. It's about the same, actually. It's $1,200. But a lot more features. 128 gig storage, same graphics card, i5 processor. I think it's a. So you want to know if you can use an external monitor with it?
Right.
Yes.
Or a couple of them.
A couple of them.
So tiny. I'm used. I run architectural programs where, the menus around the edge of it are so big that it just won't work.
Right.
I can use it to show product to a client as a tablet, but when I come home to work, I'm going to need additional monitors.
It has. I'm just looking at the connectors. There is a dock connector, which means, and it has micro HDMI. I know you can run at least one monitor out of it because it's got the Intel HD 4000 graphics. So you can absolutely run one large monitor out of it. I bet you can run two. It only has one HDMI port.
Right.
So that's that's going to mean one monitor out of that. You could run a USB monitor off of the USB port.
Okay.
They're not great quality, but they're all right. Yeah, I think this is good. I mean, if you're looking for a Windows 8 Pro tablet, and obviously the Surface Pro is not going to be in stock for some time, this is a good choice. And I guess that's kind of the point I was making at the beginning of the show, which is there are other choices to Microsoft's that may even be better. Maybe better. Padre SJ, are you saying that this TEV has display link? If it has display link, then up to 16 HD monitors on USB 3.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That should be enough.
Okay.
Padre knows.
It's a conventional old monitor. It doesn't need to be a touchscreen monitor. Obviously,
no. And there's a debate over this. I think touchscreen with Windows 8 is really desirable. But it's not required by any means. And I know a number of people say, oh, no, I've gotten used to it. I'm just fine with a mouse and keyboard.
Good enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is good. These ATIVs are quite nice. I think Samsung has done some great Windows 8 stuff. And it's ATIV is pronounced ATIV, and I know that because they said it rhymes with leave.
Okay.
Hey, thanks for the call, Kirk. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of people are looking at, okay, we were waiting for Surface Pro. We were waiting to see what Microsoft did. Now it's out of stock. What else is out there? And I think there are some good choices. I think a bigger question is, should you go to Windows 8? I'm slowly coming around on that. I'm not a big fan of the changes Microsoft made to the user interface, and I think it confuses people. It's a little distracting. Takes some relearning. But what people are saying is, look, the underlying core of Windows 8 is better. It's faster. It's more reliable, more secure. There's a lot of nice new features. And if you want, you can run Classic Shell or some other third-party program that takes away the Metro interface, the start screen, and makes it look more like Windows 7. So you can run it, in effect, as if it were Windows 7, except it's a little bit better. So yes, I guess if that's the issue, then I think Windows 8 probably is the way to go. Probably is the way to go. I find it very, the Metro start screen very confusing and non-intuitive, and I think a lot of people feel that way. Who's our next caller, Kyle?
All right, let's leave JP in Belgium.
We'll leave JP. He's calling all the way from Belgium. Hi, JP.
Hi, Tom. How you doing?
I'm well. My name's Leo, but that's okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, Leo.
Were you calling a Tom?
Excuse me?
Never mind. What can I do for you, JP?
Actually, I called once your your show last year.
Oh, you're thinking of Tom Merritt, my news director here at the Twit Cottage, the Twit Brick House.
Well, you've certainly expanded your choices at your site.
We have indeed, JP. Thank you. I'm glad you listen online.
I either download the podcast, or like for right now, you're displayed on my 43-inch TV, so I get to see you in big plans.
Ah, I'll wave at you.
Yeah.
What can I do for you, JP?
My question, and I'm not sure if it's something you can help me with or give me some solutions for, but for several months, I've been using voice over IP as my main way to communicate with the world, because communication here in Europe is extremely expensive.
Interesting. You know, it used to be, in fact, my mom still thinks it's expensive to make long-distance calls in the U.S. She always calls and says, call me back. This is going to cost a lot of money. And, and I say, Mom, it's not going to. But then I call her back, because what the heck? I'm a good son. But so it used to be, remember, us old folks remember when, a toll call, you'd say when you called somebody, I'm calling long distance, hurry, because it was a huge amount of money. Now, almost all phone systems come with some sort of free long distance calling. So it's interesting. So is it calling inside Belgium that's expensive, or it's just calling other countries that's expensive?
Both. I mean, other countries are outrageously high. Especially
Interesting.
If you use a cell phone.
Yeah.
So a landline, they've gotten a little bit better at giving better prices and everything, but Belgium remains one of the highest cost communication, internet, and everything else.
So there's where Skype is so great.
Right. Except I used to be a Skype lover. I had the very first version when it came out in 2004, but since it got sold to Microsoft.
Yeah. Hold on, JP. We're going to take a break. We'll come back in just a second and talk about some good choices. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
I remember this young guy died and I took his part. He got 40 minute stitches on his pretty face. A long time to see, but I always thought the stew would be serious.
Leo Laporte, the tech guy. This portion of the Tech Guy Show brought to you by, who is that? Some emo singer is what that is. 8888 Ask Leo. We were talking to JP in Belgium. So is this a Skype call, JP? What are you using right now?
From VoIP Buster, and I've configured my C470 IT Siemens to work with it.
So it's a SIP phone.
Yeah.
That's cool. So so is this how you make phone calls generally? Is via SIP and a voice over the internet?
Right. So anything that's basically a call I can make to any fixed line, such as yourself with 800 numbers.
Wow, that's great.
I use this phone for 90% of my communication.
That is really neat. And say again, because I think it was cut off. What service are you using?
You're using VoIP Buster.
VoIP Buster. I never heard of VoIP Buster. Huh.
It's a company from Switzerland.
It sounds great.
The quality is pretty damn good, and they offer pretty good subscriptions. So you pay 10 euros just to get your account afloat, and you have 6 months free of dialing to fixed line. And then at the end of the 6 months, it starts taking away from that $10 that you put in.
That's cool. And you prefer this to Skype?
Yes, because since it's another story, but to me, Skype used to be secured.
Right. We don't know now who's listening in on Skype. Right. I think the United States federal government is for a long time urged, although not required, I don't believe it's a law yet, urged companies that make encrypted telecommunications and other encrypted products available to offer a back door for law enforcement. And for a long time, Skype, which was actually out of Belgium, resisted this.
No, it's from, oh my God, it's up in Russia, right near Russia.
Estonia?
What's the name? Estonia. Yeah.
Estonia. I thought there was a Belgian connection. Because didn't Nicholas Zenstrom, didn't he? Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. But for a long time, in fact, I remember hearing the former chess champion, Anatoly, no, not Karpov, Kasparov, who was running for president of Russia and was very afraid of Putin. He said, "I will only use Skype because I know that Putin can't, the KGB or whoever replaced the KGB cannot listen in on my calls." But I think once Microsoft bought Skype, and it was owned by a United States company, it's a fair presumption that Microsoft is putting in a back end for federal U.S. law enforcement. So if you're afraid of the U.S. government, or you don't want the U.S. government to be snooping, then you're probably right. Skype's wrong. Now, why do you trust VoIP Buster, though?
That's where my question's coming in.
I mean, what makes them so good?
Well, they're definitely not secured.
They're out of Luxembourg. They don't even pretend to be secure.
No.
That's good.
And my question is there any software or any service that would provide encrypted voice over IP?
That's a great question.
When I go, for example, call my credit card company, they ask you to input your credit card via your keypad.
Right.
And you know what? I don't know if you remember the old days with the analog cell phones. You used to be able to pick up the phone numbers from the guy that was putting in his phone number.
Write it down, yeah. I see companies claiming it. I mean, I think this is kind of the issue is if it's a company that does business in the United States, it's very likely that pressure has been put on them. I don't know if they'll have acceded to it, but the pressure has been put on them to provide a backdoor for law enforcement. Certainly any company that is based in the U.S., like Skype now is, we don't know. And this is the thing that's a little difficult because the Patriot Act of the United States says that you can't reveal if you're doing something like that. You can't actually tell anybody. So, Microsoft might say, well, what we'd like to do is put a backdoor in here and just tell people, oh, by the way, it's encrypted, but if law enforcement gives us a subpoena, we're going to have to let them in, just so you know. I would love it if they do that. I think that they're prohibited from doing that by the same law that allows it to happen. So, golly. On the other hand, I don't think the U.S. government wants your credit card number or your PIN.
No.
I don't think they care about that. I think Skype, you're still safe from the thing you're worried about, which is kind of the routine hacker who, is checking out what's going on and can see or listen to. And it sounds like you shouldn't be using the other service since they don't even pretend to be encrypted. You probably should stick with Skype for stuff like that.
But if the law enforcement can do it, anybody can do it.
No, that's not true. Well, okay, it's okay. So the back door, which is provided for law enforcement, is very highly protected, right? So it's not like this is an easy thing to crack. It's still, the encryption on Skype is still good. It's just that there's perhaps a special password provided for law enforcement, something like that.
Right. Okay, well, that's kind of, yeah.
No, so I'm giving from the chat room, from X942 in the chat room, he's mentioning a couple of encrypted open source VoIP solutions. And that's what you want. If it's open source, that means you can look at the source code and validate that there isn't a government backdoor. That's what you want. That's one of the problems with Skype. It's never been open source. So he says Red Phone and OSTel, they use ZRTP for security. And then there's a PC-only program called Jitsi.
Red Phone. What was the second one? OSTel?
OSTEL, yeah.
And the third?
Jitsi. But now, which is JITSI. Now, Phil Zimmerman, the creator of PGP and a guy who's been very active in protecting privacy, has created something called Z-Phone. It's designed by Phil Zimmerman. It's a plug-in for existing VoIP clients, so it's a scrambler. Remember that in the old James Bond movies? They put the little scrambler on the phone, and it would turn voice into something weird, and it would get on the other end. They had that unscrambler. It's like that. It encrypts the call before it goes into the. It's a plug-in for VoIP clients. So that might be something worth investigating. Z-F-O-N-E, Z-phone. And finally, Colonel Klink in the chat room saying the Electronic Frontier Foundation has some suggestions on their site for secure VoIP, secure voice over the internet. And that would be EFF.org. Hey, JP, I'm so glad you listen in Belgium. It's great to talk to you. Thank you. You know, it's interesting because, your regular phone call is absolutely insecure. So this is an expectation of over and above what we already have. And that's why law enforcement is upset. The bad guys can do anything they want because they can encrypt their calls, and we can't get a wiretap. So what they want is they want 21st century wiretapping on all internet-based phone systems. And I can understand why they would want that. And I can also understand why you might not like it. 8888 ask Leo, who's watching the watchers, says Strike It Rich. Good point. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the tech guy. Time to talk about computers, the internet, cell phones, camcorders, MP3 players, home theater, and all that jazz. 8888 Ask Leo is the phone number. 888-827-5536. Toll free from anywhere in the U.S. Or if you're JP in Bruges, you can use VoIP or Skype and call us, and it'll cost you nothing. Website is techguylabs.com. And let's say hi to David in, is it Cambria? Hi, David. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. I can't read my own handwriting. Hi, David.
Hello, this is David.
Welcome.
Hey, so I recently upgraded to Windows 8 from Windows 7.
Well, there you go. You see? How was that?
I like it overall. It's pretty good. It starts up pretty good. But the problem is I lost my firewire connection. I used to transfer video from my Digital 8 Sony Handycam.
Oh, so you upgraded an existing PC?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
We don't usually recommend that.
No.
We find that to be a very challenging proposition.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. I don't see any reason that a FireWire isn't supported by Windows 8. I can't imagine they'd take that out.
Yeah. I've searched around and everything says.
Now your PC, did it come with FireWire? Or did you add FireWire?
It was installed. It's a Dell Studio.
So you want to go to Dell?
Yeah.
And say, because the FireWire is probably on the motherboard, and that would be a motherboard driver.
Yeah.
So it's you've done. I'm sure you've run Windows 8 Windows Update.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it didn't say, oh, I see. There's a FireWire thing. You need a driver.
Yeah, and I even went out and bought a new FireWire card, and hopefully was hoping that the drivers would update
just
automatically.
Do it. Yeah.
And nothing.
Oh.
Still lost nothing.
Nothing. No, I don't think I heard nothing that to indicate Windows 8 doesn't support FireWire. It's not a dead technology. It might. I mean, I could see if you said Windows 8 doesn't support SCSI or parallel port printers, although I bet it does in both cases, because Microsoft doesn't like to turn off features.
Yeah,
that's part of the problem with Windows and actually really any older operating system is that they just keep feature and more features, and you never turn anything off.
Yeah.
So what you got to do is go to Dell and say, I want a driver for this, a Windows 8 driver for this motherboard. So the card you bought, did it say it supported Windows 8?
No, it said Windows 7, and in previous versions up to Windows 7.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I don't think the Windows 8 driver model is very different, but maybe it is. If you went from Vista to 7, for instance, you can continue to use a Vista driver on Windows 7. Everything worked fine.
Yeah.
But
in my past computers, I've had with Vista and 7 and all that, and it's always worked. So,
did you do an upgrade or a clean install?
A clean install. a full, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the right thing to do, except that none of the drivers from the previous version of Windows 7 come along for the ride. So it's up to you. And this is why, you know, it's funny. On the Mac, almost always people, when the new operating system comes out every year, buy it and install it. And Windows side, almost always, you know, the vast majority of users don't upgrade Windows until they get a new computer. That's the upgrade.
Yeah.
And it's things like this. This is not insurmountable. You will be able to get your FireWire working. Yeah. But it's just this is the kind of thing that gets in the way. You got to find somebody who has the driver for that FireWire for Windows 8. It's odd. It seems odd. It seems like it should. Do you have the drivers that came with the computer initially?
Well, I created the disk when I first, pulled the computer out of the box.
Right.
I created that original backup disk. So, do you think I could find it on there?
Yeah, I mean those drivers, come with the computer. Let's see. IEEE 1394 FireWire support in Windows 8. Wow, maybe they don't support it. Holy cow, I'm looking.
Yeah, because I did a few Google searches myself. And
there is this Microsoft compatibility checker, which they recommend you run. But, of course, you probably didn't.
Yeah, well, I did, I think, but I might have overlooked it,
Yeah, oh, and by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can go there, Windows Compatibility Center, and enter in whatever hardware it is that you're trying to get working, and it'll tell you.
Okay.
Although that's not the solution. Although I guess if it says no, it doesn't work, then you know it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But this is a community. This is kind of both Microsoft and community managed. So people will vote and say, no, it worked. No, it didn't work.
Yeah.
So let's see. Devices, resources. Nothing so simple as FireWire here. Cards, components. I'm not sure. Yeah. I would look in here. I mean, they have a lot of cards and stuff. So
okay.
If you could find the I just tried Dell FireWire. That wasn't enough. What's the model of the computer?
I don't have it in front of me right now. I can't remember.
Yeah. So you'll probably want to go there and see. And I would imagine Dell will have the Windows 8 upgrade. How could they not?
Yeah.
How could they not?
I know. I got all my old videotapes, digital 8 tapes.
Oh, that stinks.
I'm transferring as fast as I can.
Oh, yeah.
I did the upgrade, and now, darn it.
Sorry, John. I mean, sorry, David. Let's go to line 2. Pete in Syracuse, New York. Hi, Pete. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hi, Leo. Discovered your program about 6 months ago.
Well, welcome.
And just been listening and trying to understand stuff. But as I spoke to your producer and calling you this afternoon, or this morning where you're at, I have a laptop, which I just basically use for basic emails and surfing. I guess I'm now kind of wanting to get kind of sorted into the whole aspect of IT-ism.
IT-ism? I didn't know it was an ism.
Yeah, no.
I like it.
The whole career of IT, and I was just wondering, where should I put my first step?
Depends if you want to do it yourself, if you want to work for a small company, you want to work for a large company. If you want to work for a large company in IT, they will look for, because it's easier for them, what we call the certs, the certifications. And there are a variety of IT certifications, like depending on, if you're going to do Microsoft, if you're going to do networking, if you're going to do fixing things. And so you could even Google IT certifications. You could see all of those. Those are nice to have on the resume because in a case of a big company, that's what they're going to look for. A smaller company might be more willing to just say, well, tell us what you do, show us how you work, and all of that. But certs are really, and by the way, in my opinion, it's all kind of a racket because I don't think the certs really show that much. They just need a standardized way of saying, well, he took the test, he answered all the questions right, so he must know something about networking.
Yeah, because I'm not a kid, obviously, and I'm just trying to. I've been on the sideline for quite some time. And
yeah.
kind of wanting to get back.
Certs are the equivalent of a degree. So in IT, it's are you A+ certified? Not do you have a bachelor's degree? The problem with certs is that it's it can be expensive to get the materials and study for them.
Right.
But cheaper than going to college.
Well, that's what I was wondering. Should I make the effort to go to college and get a?
No. I think what you want is the certifications is what you want.
Okay.
And then if you look online, Tech Republic, I'll put a link here to the Tech Republic article by Eric Eckel, the 10 best IT certifications for the year 2012. They'll probably do one for 2013. MCITP, Enterprise Administrator for Windows Server. MCTS, Microsoft Certified Technology Specialist. CCNA, CSSA, PMP. Yeah, all of these things are handy to have. So I'd pick a couple of ones in the area you want and study up. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, 8888. Ask Leo. That's the phone number, 888-827-5536. Yeah, I think it's an interesting idea to get started in IT. It's not probably a computer science or electrical engineering degree is not the best thing to do. And, of course, the several years it takes to get those degrees probably is not worth the energy. Since an IT job, really those certs are gonna help you a lot. And then experience. The tough thing is within any business is getting that first one. Line 6, Rob, Vacaville, California. Hi, Rob. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hi, Leo. Thank you for your shows.
Thank you.
I've got a question for you.
Yes.
The best way I think to describe it is when I have my laptop, when I take it around, I've got all my data, my private data encrypted using TrueCrypt, and I feel very comfortable.
Good man. Yeah, TrueCrypt's awesome.
Right. Yeah, it is awesome. Is there anything equivalent to that on any of the smartphone platforms?
Yeah, there is. In fact, it's interesting you should call because this just came out. It's expensive. It's an interesting idea. It's called Silent Circle. It's only for the iPhone right now. And the idea is it is encryption for your mobile communications, text messages, voice, and video call. iPhone and iPad only, versions for Windows Phone, Android phones are coming. They're also planning to launch an email service, and it's peer-to-peer. That means, and it's kind of interesting. They don't hold the key. Each phone generates a unique key every time a call is made. It's a very interesting idea. As far as I can tell, it's genuine. It's real. And it works well. They got Phil Zimmerman, the creator of PGP, on their team. They say. I don't know what that means exactly.
I've got a question on that.
Yeah.
Does it encrypt the data that's there, the contact list, the calendar?
The phone is encrypted already on the iPhone. So that data is encrypted. There is a little bit of a minor little problem right now on the iPhone because iOS 6.1 reintroduced a bug iPhone had earlier that allows somebody to break through the lock screen, and get to all your stuff. But normally, if you put the lock screen on the iPhone, all that stuff is encrypted, and somebody getting an iPhone can't just get the data out of it.
Really? Because I heard horror stories about people leaving their phones in cabs and then cab drivers.
Yes, that was the story. We talked about that a little bit. The story was that if a cab driver found a phone, it was worth more if he didn't erase it. Because they want the data, not the phone.
Right, but you're saying the iPhone, they wouldn't be able to do that.
Well, that's what Apple says. That's what Apple says. But you do need to put a lock code on it. You can't just you can't just slide it to open it. You have to put the 4-digit password on there.
Oh yeah. I've got an 8-digit.
You've got to have that anyway. Everybody should be doing that anyway.
Right.
Right.
Okay, thank you. Could I ask one quick question on Twitch history?
Sure.
That little logo you have, it looks like a cross between an electrical plug and a ladybug.
Yeah, it's cute, isn't it?
It's really cute.
It's completely meaningless. No, actually, the story of that. So he's talking about the podcast network Twit, which is how it's loosely affiliated with this radio show. This show appears on the Twit network as part of our Twit podcasts, but is not owned by Twit. It's owned by the Premier Radio Networks. I'm the host on this show and the host on many Twit shows, and we do it out of the Twit studio. So I guess it's more than loosely affiliated. But the Twit and all the Twit stuff's at twit.tv, as long as I'm giving us a plug. But the Twit logo is, when I first started Twit in 2005, I just asked listeners, "Hey, I need a logo," and a wonderful, we've got many, by the way, wonderful graphic designer named Dorothy Yamamoto sent me something similar to what we're using. It was on its side. It was an AND gate, so it actually comes from electronics. If it's sideways, it's an AND gate. And then I said, well, if I turned it right side up and added an eye, it kind of looks like a little guy, like a guy that might be named a Twit. So let's do that. So you're right. It is a little bit of a ladybuggy looking thing, but the genesis of it is an electronic symbol for an AND, or maybe it's a NAND gate. I think it's a NAND gate.
Okay.
Isn't it? I'm glad you asked. Nobody ever asks about that. Yeah, not that it's particularly important, but yeah. If you look at if you Google an AND gate or go to Wikipedia and look at an AND gate, you'll see what an AND gate looks like. You can see the genesis of the little Twit guy. He's just standing up now. And I always, is it AND or NAND? I don't. Now they're saying it's an AND gate. I don't know. It's a NAND or an AND. I don't know which. It's one or the other. It's an electronic symbol. Yeah, it is. You're right. It's more like an AND gate.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. That's something nobody cares about. I'm glad you asked, though. And yeah, the silent circle is interesting. The reason I know about it is Steve Gibson, our security guru, does a show on Twit called Security Now. We were talking about it earlier, because he says, boy, they sure got a lot of attention. They've got a great PR department. He says they should pay their PR department more. But maybe not. Maybe there's something people they're looking for. Stephanie's in Irvine, California. Hi, Stephanie. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Anna.
I'm sorry, Anna?
Anna in Hermosa Beach.
A different line. Hi, Anna.
Hi. Question for you about Google Nexus 10. I had read that they may release a new quad-core CPU as a major upgrade, and this was supposed to be released at this Mobile World Congress here in February.
Right.
My question is, how long after they would release that news would it come to market?
Probably pretty quickly. So the Nexus 10 is Google's tablet, and it's the Google version of the tablet, and very popular. I think the Nexus 10 is out of stock now, and was out of stock for a long time. Delivered in 3 to 5 business days. No, they've got the Wi-Fi version back. It is a really beautiful little tablet. I have a Nexus 7 and love it.
Okay, that's what I have, and I'm helping an older friend buy this. So
she wants a bigger screen.
Yes.
I don't think there would be any reason not to get the current one, to be honest with you.
Okay.
It's pretty darn fast.
All right. So, and they are out of stock. I've been checking.
They are.
So, yeah, it's even on their website. It's will ship when received or whatever.
Yeah.
At any rate, so that might. But you did answer the question. If they release this news this week, that it's
pretty quick.
Quite quickly.
Yeah, it's pretty quick. Because the chips that they're using are available now. They're currently using a dual core processor. The quad cores have been out for some time on phones and so forth. They use an Exynos processor, so it's not like they're using something that isn't widely available. So they should be able to build that pretty quick.
Super deluxe. Thanks for your information.
My pleasure. Thanks for helping your friend. I think that's a nice thing. Just shows you how tablets are really spreading. They're really becoming the thing. 8888 Ask Leo. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Yeah, Apple says that 6.1.1 or whatever the fix will be. I think it's 2 actually. Will be out soon. You just get 6.1? So that's it then. Oh, that's the 4S fix. So 612 is the one that's going to fix. That's right. 611 came out a while ago. The 612 is the one that's going to fix the hack. It's from iOS 4.
You actually wonder what they do with the source code, right?
Yeah. I guess we'll reuse this code.
Yeah, exactly.
Couldn't be anything wrong with it.
Well, we've got to get going ourselves.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming. Thanks a lot. Come back anytime. Nice to meet you. All right. Take care. Bye-bye. We no longer have a studio audience, which is good because I was about to throw up on them. Oh, man. I don't like the notes very much, High Web, because they have a, in order to have pressure sensitivity, they have an overlay to make it a Wacom, and the screen isn't as good, I think. I would go with the Nexus's Nexi. I like having an audience. No, I'm sick. I'm not feeling well at all. I'm really out of it. Oh, this is the same cold I've had for 2 weeks now since getting back from New Orleans, and it's just not gotten better. It's getting worse. This is some horrible cold that's going around. Everybody here has it too. I probably got it from our staff. But. You know, Jason, these wireless chargers, these inductance chargers work fine. I haven't tried the Nexus 4s, but they work fine. If you have a Nexus 4, I love the idea of just plopping it on there. I like the Galaxy Note phone, not the Galaxy Note tab. The Note tablets, they put pressure-sensitive screens on, and I think that degraded the screen quality, in my opinion. I don't think it was from the Super Bowl. I think I've been probably was weakened from the Super Bowl, and then I came home, and then everybody in here has been sick, and they all have this same thing that goes on for weeks. It's just it's a cold. It's not even a bad cold. It's just a lingering cold. Oh, Padre, I'm not being such a pro. Oh, do we do Johnny Jet? Yes, we do. We do Johnny. Here's Johnny. Hi, Johnny.
How you doing, Leo?
I'm good. How are you? Can you aim down a little bit? Because you're at the bottom of it. Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah, it's good. It's dark. Where are you? You're in the dark.
I just got home. Let me turn some lights on.
Turn on some lights.
Is that better?
Yeah. What do you want to talk about?
I sent you a link to a really cool website that launched yesterday.
Got it. I will go to my email.
Am I still dark?
More light would always help.
This has got to be better.
Yes. He's home. He's home. He's home.
I literally just made it home. I just landed, and first person off the plane, hopped in a taxi.
Wow.
Took a shower, shaved.
Thank you. Thank you for bathing.
You know, I think the passenger next to me would have appreciated it too.
Where were you coming from? Florida?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh, you fly so much, you're just probably used to it now, right?
I am, and I hear you're sick. So and everyone always thinks they get sick from
How
the
do you
plane.
avoid that cold from the plane?
You know, it's when people touch things and then touch their eyes,
Wash
their
your
mouth,
hands.
their nose.
Yeah.
And wipe down your seat with the antibacterial wipes.
Oh, we can talk about that too.
Okay.
But I don't have your email yet, but I'll just lead you into it.
Okay. It's easy.
Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Johnny Jet, our travel guy, is here. Just got home. Hi, Johnny.
How you doing, Leo?
It's great to have you. JohnnyJet.com is the website. He's an expert on using technology to make travel better, more funner, and cheaper. Right. Yeah. We were asking before we get to you got a new website, which sounds really cool. Before we get to that, though, I got a cold. I'm pretty sure I got a cold coming home from the Super Bowl. Isn't that kind of we're all in the same tube with recycled air.
Right.
If one person is sick, aren't we all going to get sick? How do you travel so much and not get cut down with?
Everyone thinks it's from the airborne
Yeah.
You know, I think it's the first 3 passengers. 3 rows. That if someone's sick there, then you can get sick.
Oh, that's not good.
But the way to avoid it, and the way I do it, is that you wipe down everything with antibacterial wipes, and you got to make a conscious effort not to stick your fingers in your mouth, your nose, your eyes.
I think you're right. Doctors say that, and they say that on the cruise ships too. That wash your hands frequently, because that's really, it's from touching something with the bug on it, and then touching your hands to your eyes or your mouth, your face.
And when you're on a cruise ship, by the way, even right before you walk into the cafeteria, they all have these antibacterial huge jars.
Everywhere.
They make you put it on.
You got to squirt the Purell, baby. Yeah.
But even when you squirt it, people are still touching their nose, and then they're touching the forks.
That's enough.
That's enough. So you gotta be aggressive, especially on a cruise ship. And
you must have looked at this Carnival Triumph story of the week. Oh my gosh.
That's not very good publicity for them.
Bad for Carnival, but doesn't Carnival own all the other cruise lines too? I mean, there's only
they own a lot. The guy,
it was only a couple of years ago the Costa, which is also a Carnival ship, ran aground.
Right.
What's going on?
What can you do? They're out in the ocean. The engine fails. All the other ships are full of passengers, so they can't take them.
People forget, I think, because it feels like a hotel, that you're actually in a boat in the ocean. And really, to be honest, things happen in the boat in the ocean. And especially
when there's 4,000 people on it. So they actually did a pretty good job.
Yeah. I mean, I think the news media focuses on the people who are really upset. But that's a handful of people, and given what happened, I think they survived. I hope that the safety standards among cruise lines are similar to, say, airplanes. Yeah. No, you're still here. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah. My Skype froze for 1 second.
Yeah. Oh, that's Skype. So now, go ahead.
Before we go, I want to tell you this new website that launched yesterday in San Francisco.
Yes.
Which is brilliant, and I'm kicking myself for not coming up with this concept or having the money to do it.
Tell us
it's called flightcar.com.
Okay, flightcar.com.
So, okay, let's say you drive to the airport.
Yeah.
And you leave your car, and instead of leaving it there, you're going to allow someone else to rent it.
I'm going to leave my car at the airport for 3 weeks this fall. 3 weeks.
Well, then you can get free parking by signing up to them and letting someone else use your car. So no matter what, if someone rents it or not, they're going to give you free parking.
It says free airport parking, free car wash, fully insured, and then somebody else can go there and rent it.
It's just a brilliant concept. So again, you sign up. I'm gonna list my car, and I was just doing a search yesterday. I can get a Toyota Corolla.
Now, right now, it looks like it's San Francisco International Airport only.
That's it. It just started yesterday. It's brand new, and the savings are significant, though. I did a search for the weekend. There was nothing there. I did a search. My second search I did from Monday to Thursday, and there were cars available. And
yeah, I mean, it's expensive. It is going to cost me hundreds of dollars to park for 3 weeks at the airport.
But you get free parking, and then let's say I want to rent your car, even though I don't even know. Let's say I don't know you.
Right. How does that work?
You just you go to their search engine, and it's just like renting a car online.
Wow.
You just choose a car you want, the dates. And then you call them up right before you get there, and they will meet you, and they'll drop you off.
Oh, so I don't have to get to their airport parking. They pick me up?
And then they valet. It's valet. It's basically valet. I'm telling you, it's brilliant. I don't even know these guys. I never met them. I was just reading about them. I'm like, oh, my God.
Maybe I'll try this the next time I go somewhere. Wow, that's interesting.
I want to. I wish it was here in L.A. because I would definitely do it because it kills me to pay $15, $20 a day for parking, and it's just sitting there, and I go away for a month at a time sometimes. So I usually take a taxi, but if I had this service, I would do it, and then you also make money because you're getting
I don't know if I want somebody renting my 2010 Mustang V8.
Well, yeah.
That sounds like trouble.
This is when you do your second car. If you get like a second car.
That sounds like trouble. I don't know. I won't let my son drive it. I'm not going to let a stranger drive it.
Okay, then it's not for everyone, but I still think it's brilliant. And,
I like the idea. Yeah, bring your second car. Yeah, bring the beater. Don't bring the good car. Yeah, they'll take any kind of car.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they have supposedly like 50 cars right now already signed up. But I did a few searches, and 2 out of the 3 there were cars available.
They inspect the car to make sure it meets our rigorous safety standards. You get 24/7 roadside assistance, free insurance. Wow, this is why I like the internet. These are crazy ideas. But you know what? This reminds me a little bit of Uber.
Exactly.
Have you ever done an Uber car?
No, I haven't. But
Uber's kind of neat.
Like that.
Yeah, Uber, you get an app for your phone, your smartphone. Instead of calling a cab, you press a button on your phone, and it tells you, well, there's Uber drivers within, whatever, 5 minutes. It only works in certain cities, although there are a lot of them now. And you say, okay, yeah. And then it gives you a picture of the driver, and it shows you a map as he's approaching, so you know exactly how long he's going to be.
I love that part.
He arrives in it's a black car service, so it's a nice car. And he arrives in the car. You see the picture. You know, oh, that's him. He knows you. He's got your information. You get in. He drives you, and you've already got a credit card on file with Uber, so you don't tip him. You don't pay him. It just takes it out of it's automatic tipping. It's a little more expensive than a cab, but not hugely more expensive than a cab.
Well, this concept will save you money.
This is really interesting.
Or even make you money in gas credits.
So you get free airport parking by renting out your car. Do you get any of the rent or just only free parking?
No, you only get $10 in gas credit every time they do it, and you get a free car wash, and you get free parking, which is key.
Right. Yeah, they got to wash your car. You would definitely want to wash my car. All right, all right, Johnny, I'll be the guinea pig because I do fly out of SFO.
Yeah, but don't do it on like your nice new 2010 Mustang.
Really?
Yeah, if I rented that thing, I'd be hauling.
You would. In fact,
I'd be doing donuts.
Nobody can drive it without doing donuts. In fact, it's almost automatic. They start drifting the minute they get in the car. Johnny Jet is at johnnyjet.com. That's his website, a great resource for people who travel. You should also follow him on Twitter at Johnny Jet. He's got some... Go ahead.
And I just talked to South African Airways, and they're giving us 2 tickets to give away to U.S. listeners.
Wow.
Or my readers.
So you're home now. How long before you hit the road again?
I'm speaking at the LA Times Travel Show this weekend.
Oh,
so
fun.
I'm here for a week. Actually, I leave tomorrow. I'm going for a Valentine's Day weekend since my wife's coming in tonight, and I didn't see her.
Oh, now where does a Johnny Jet take his wife for Valentine's Day?
That's a surprise.
Oh, no one knows, not even the wife.
Not even the wife.
That's romantic. Honey, pack for the tropics. We're leaving tomorrow.
No, it's in California.
Okay. Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you for having me.
The great Johnny Jet. JohnnyJet.com. We just love talking to Johnny, and he's always got great stuff. And lots of giveaways always on his website. Flight Car is his travel website of the week. Again, I'll say that URL is flightcar.com, but we'll put this in our show notes at techguylabs.com. That's where everything we talk about is stored for your future reference. Phone number is 8888 Ask Leo. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Let's get back to the phones. Let me see who the next caller is. I have it here, right here, I'm sure.
Cindy in Ventura.
Cindy in Ventura, California. Hi, Cindy. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hi. Can you hear me?
I hear you great. Oh, but you know what else I hear? Ooh, the magic music that means we got to take a break. We'll come back. Cindy, you're next. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you.
You're so good.
Next time I'll tell you how I rent a car, too.
Oh, yeah, some rent-a-car tips is a great idea.
Yeah, I thought I was running out of time.
You were basically, and I wasn't paying attention, and you were right because
I love Epson and respect.
We was done, and I ended up taking another call, which was dumb.
No, what's wrong?
Yeah. All right. Hey, thanks, John.
But next week I think I'm speaking during this time. Actually, I think I'm okay.
You know what? We can move it around. We can not do it in a week. It's not critical.
Who should I email? You or someone else?
Yeah, email me. Okay. I know that I'm not very good on email.
You're not great on email.
But I'll keep an eye peeled.
All right.
All right. Hey, thanks, John.
Take care.
See
Feel
ya.
better.
I will. Bye-bye.
And use your wipes.
Yeah, I'm wiping everything right now. All over everything. LeVar Burton is my age. I didn't know that. Boy, he looks good for a guy my age. For an old-timer. Yeah, the OBD2 would tell me. The black box would tell me. Somebody was asking in the chat room about the encrypted file sharing service I mentioned. This be a good time to talk about sharefile.com. I use this for sending files to the radio stations. You know, sometimes the radio stations say, you know, this is WKIP and Leo Laporte on WKIP and Valdosta, Georgia, that kind of thing. And so I use ShareFile for that. I use ShareFile to share files of any kind, you know, pictures, images. It's a really great, now it's for business. I mean, the whole idea is for business. Let me show you my ShareFile page. Actually, I'll make this a little bigger so you can see it. I'm running in the background, I should mention, the ShareFile sync. So I have two folders that I'm constantly keeping synced. These are on my desktop, KFI and Premiere. And they're automatically synced. This runs in the background all the time, syncing them. And if I go to the website, you'll see these files are on the website as well. So I can do this from a smartphone because I can see all these files on the smartphone. But I can also do it right from the website. So let's say here I have the Premiere folder and a voice track for, there it is, WKIP. So I want to send this to the radio station. So you can do this via email and an Outlook plugin, but I like to just do it right on the web page. I'm going to say, give me a link. And just so you can see what the parameters are, I can say email when it's been downloaded, require the recipients to enter their name and address before downloading so I can track them. I have a choice of how long the download is good for. It never expires, or it expires after a day or anywhere in between. Same thing with how many copies they can get. You know, unless you have but some businesses require these restrictions. So you have these capabilities. And then when I press the send file button, I'm going to get an HTTPS link to that file. Let me show you what WKIP will see when they click that link. And I send that usually in an email. But you could also do it by text messages or whatever. This is what they see. It's got our company logo, no login. The branding's there. It's a clean, you know, white label. Really does a great job. They can listen to it, you know, or they can download it. It's very simple, and yet very effective. Secure too, for a variety of different businesses, and that's one of the things ShareFile wants you to know. This is a business-to-business solution, and so they work in a variety of industries. And that's important because each industry might have its own requirements and so forth. They preset it up for you. I want you to try it free for 30 days. Sharefile.com. Use the offer code TECHGUY. And you could try it free for 30 days. Really a great solution. Sharefile.com. It's from Citrix. So you know it's good. Leo Laporte, a tech guy, 8888 Ask Leo. That's the number. And I apologize for leaving you on hold, but we're back. It's Cindy, right?
Yes.
Hi, Cindy. Thanks for hanging on.
Thank you. My question is, I bought a Sony Vaio and it had Windows 8 on it, which was a bit of a learning curve for me.
Yeah.
And the problem is with the Skype. When I go onto Skype now, whoever sent me a Skype request, I can't find it anywhere. All it has is the squares, you know.
Yeah, it's Metro. Hey, welcome to Metro.
Yeah, it's a nightmare, and I haven't been able to find where those requests are. I've right-clicked, I've gone to the site, I've done everything, and it's just not working.
I'm a bad man, Cindy, because this is exactly why I should be using Windows 8 day in, day out, right? And I'm not, because it's driving me crazy too.
Yeah.
So you can put Skype on your desktop. In fact, this is my recommendation. You're using the Metro version of Skype with the squares.
Yes, and it's already on my desktop. But
so
my problem is
in the desktop version, you know how you go to the desktop? If you run the desktop version, it'll look like your old Skype, and you should be able to do all the things you're used to doing.
So just switch it back to the desktop and don't use Windows 8.
Well, no, you're still using Windows 8. So this is, and again, this is, I understand your confusion. There's this, and they don't, and Microsoft, to add to the confusion, Microsoft has got to be the worst run company. I don't understand why they're doing this. They don't want anybody to call it Metro. But I'm going to call it Metro because you know what that means. That's the squares, that's the start screen.
What is it? Oh, I see. Those are the
That's
squares.
the new look. But when you use Windows D or you click the tile that says desktop, now you're brought to a desktop that looks just like the old desktop, except it doesn't have a start button anymore.
Right.
If you run Skype there, you'll be running the desktop version of Skype, not the Metro version of Skype.
Okay.
And the desktop version of Skype looks like what you're used to and works the same way. The Metro version is baffling.
It is baffling. I mean, there's absolutely no way to find your list of people. You can see them in the tiles, and if you click on them, then you can call them that way. But if someone sends a request, there's no way to find it.
Yeah. I'm sure there is somewhere. But and this is my big problem with Windows 8, is the lack of we call it discoverability, the ability to kind of figure out how to use it.
Okay.
So,
it's just been trial and error for me, personally. You know, when I bought the VIO, the kid said, "Oh, there's a slight learning curve," and I'm like, "Okay, well, that was wrong," you know.
Yeah. New Angel says if you're in the Metro version of Skype, and you know how you swipe in from the charms on the right there?
Right.
If you swipe in the charms, he says it's there. Maybe it's in the settings, I'm not sure. But he says he's
into the charms on the right side.
Yeah, on the right side, swipe in from the right.
Okay.
And it will, and then you can find the people who want to add you. I don't.
Really?
This again. I'm a bad man. I've used Windows 8. I've got to buy a Windows 8 machine so that I can use it, so that I can answer these questions. I've been putting it off. I've been very bad.
Man, it's just, I mean, come on.
Well, no, I need to help people like you with it, but it's like I can't bring myself to use it. Oh.
Yeah, it's not. You know, I mean, it came with the computer, or I probably wouldn't have it.
That's exactly why everybody has it. Now, how long have you used it?
Maybe 3 months.
Okay, so there's this theory that Microsoft's promulgating. Julie Larson-Green, the new head of Windows, says, "We understand it's hard at first, but give it a few weeks and you'll feel right at home."
No.
3 months in, Cindy says, "No, Julie, no."
Completely tech illiterate. I mean, I'm on my computer all day, but this is just killing me. So.
You know, that's what I did. I bought a Surface RT, and I have Windows 8 on one of my machines, and I used it for a while, and it didn't get any better, and I still was frustrated, and it made me crazy. And and that's what I'm saying is my job, like it or not, is to use this new stuff so that I can answer your questions, and I haven't been. So Cindy.
That's a good idea to take it on the desktop. I will do that.
Yeah,
so,
the truth is, and a lot of people are doing this, and I think this is how a lot of people are solving the pain, is that they are modifying Windows 8 so that they don't ever see this Metro GUI. They call it the modern UI or something. I don't know. So there's a program that's free called Classic Shell. You might want to take a look at this. ClassicShell.net. It's absolutely free. And what it does is it basically turns it into something that looks a lot more like Windows 7.
Okay.
And you may actually say, "Oh, now I can use it." You stay in the desktop. You no longer go to that start screen. Now, let me ask the chat room. If I have the Metro Skype, do I need to download desktop Skype, or is it there? Is it a separate download, or is it just a visible if I go to desktop? I'm not sure about that. But this Classic Shell is really what a lot of people are. Oh, it's a separate download. Oh my goodness. So.
Oh, that's what I was worried about.
Yeah. So now you'll need to. It'll share the same data, Cindy. So you don't have to have two different phone systems and all that. But it will be a separate download. So you need to go to desktop and go to Skype.com and download it. It's just like Internet Explorer. You have two Internet Explorers now. You have a Metro Internet Explorer and a desktop Internet Explorer.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to download Skype for Windows Desktop.
Okay, and then try the Classic
Yeah,
Shell.
but see if you can do it from the charms, just sliding over to the right. And then Classic Shell will eliminate Metro from your life. It'll bring the start menu back. It'll bring the desktop back. Suddenly, Windows 8 will be a better Windows 7, basically.
Okay, I have one more question.
Sure.
If I go to my old computer where it has the normal Skype on it, and I accept the request from there, will that automatically get over?
It's the same account, yes.
Okay.
So if you're in the same account, Yes. And if you accept them on one machine, it will accept them on all.
Okay.
So that's another workaround, Cindy. Yeah.
How did the tiles get there then? Like if I accept somebody who is not on the,
It should be part. It should be. It should have. They should be part of your tiles. I don't know.
okay, so they should just appear.
Yes, magically. Oh Lord, help us from Windows 8. Save us. Somebody said you're feeding the Windows 8 fear. Stop it. I don't have to feed the Windows 8 fear. It feeds itself. It just feeds itself. Daniel in Hemet, California. Hi, Daniel. Lee Laporte, the tech guy.
Hey, how you doing, Leo?
I'm well.
Long-time listener. Never called you before.
Welcome.
Until I got Windows 8. I just been listening to everyone's calls. I'm like,
hang on the line. We're going to take a break for news at the top of the hour. More Windows 8 help. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. You couldn't make this stuff up. IT, it could be the worst job in the world. It can be the best job in the world. It's a great job. Thank God the chat room's using Windows 8.
And that means having the right tools, especially tools that don't slow you down.
Oy, 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 oy.
That's why I use and recommend Go.
So I think I'm gonna get that Carbon.
One simple integrated cloud-based product that does it all, baby. With Go to Assist, you can quickly and easily log incidents and track resolutions with the Service Desk module. They're world famous.
What is this you've delivered to me, young Alex? The annual report to stockholders of CBS 1953. Oh, look. How fun. Is this from, it's your grandpa? Oh, look at Edward R. Murrow. Leopold Stokowski. Elizabeth's Queening. Oh, that's neat. So it's not really a stockholders. Well, it is a little bit, but that's really neat. So sad what's become of CBS. It really was the Tiffany network. I mean, it's now just the dumpiest. They're very successful, so you can't knock that. But it seems like I put on CBS now, and my TV is exploding. Like it's just explosion after explosion. Everything now on TV is like exploding. Maybe it's because I should turn my subwoofer down. Oh Lord, that's cool. That's really neat. So that was in his stuff, or?
Yeah, it was. I don't know how. I mean, he must have gotten it being an employee.
Yeah, sure. Oh.
You're tuned to Premier Channel 7. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, will begin at 6 minutes past the hour.
The Colortrons. (1954). This is the advent of color television. Tubes. Can you believe they were in hardware as well? CBS Hytron took the lead in development of color television picture tubes. It activated its new Kalamazoo plant. Wow. Early in 1954, it became apparent that color television sets introduced in late 1953 with small 99 square-inch picture tubes were not acceptable to the public. On July 7th, 1954, CBS Hytron introduced a large-screen color tube, the CBS Colortron 205. 19-inch televisions are here. I'm sorry, 22-inch televisions. Wow, can I read this on the air? That's great. Wow. Wow. God, I watched the Grammys on CBS, and it was just one big promotion for CBS TV shows. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here, the Tech Guy, hour number 3 of the Tech Guy Show. 8888 Ask Leo. That's the phone number if you want to call with a question or a comment or a suggestion. Would love to hear from you. You can also visit our website, techguylabs.com, and you'll find a link there to our chat room where 1,000 rabid fans are foaming at... No, they're not that rabid. They're not foaming at the mouth. They're just enthusiastic. And you're welcome to join them. 8888 Ask Leo, though. That's the primary way to play our game. One of my studio engineers, Alex Gumpel, just brought me the CBS annual report to stockholders from 1954. His grandfather was a CBS television engineer. What an interesting document. Their annual report really is more, here's what was, here's the stories, here's the shows, here's what we did on CBS in 1954. But remember, now, 1954, and they're talking about color TV. Early in 1954, it says, it became apparent that color television sets introduced in late 1953 with small 99 square inch picture tubes were not acceptable to the public. Those are 19-inch tubes. 19-inch tubes. On July 7th, 1954, CBS Hytron introduced a large screen color tube and demonstrated its mass production to the press. They got a patent for the CBS Colortron color TV tube. I guess CBS now doesn't make any hardware, doesn't make televisions, but going back to the days of David Sarnoff and RCA, NBC was formed really by a TV company, created a radio company and later a TV company, created to make products to put on their hardware. So I guess it makes sense that in these early days of television, that's what CBS was doing too. CBS introduced the new and larger 22-inch rectangular CBS Colortron tube in 1953 or 1954, I guess. Wow, isn't that fun? That was considered. They said no, people aren't buying those little 19-inch TVs anymore. Now it's 22 inches. That's what people want. That's what people are looking for. 8888 Ask Leo. That's the phone number. We've come a long way, baby. Let's see. Was I talking to Daniel or did I finish with Daniel in Emmett, California? I think I did. Let's talk to Edgar in Huntington Beach, California. Hi, Edgar. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hi, Leo. I had a question for you on XBMC for Android media streamers.
Okay.
If you had any opinions on them or what's a good one? I've taken a look at the G-Box Midnight or maybe even the Western Digital TV Play.
So the idea is you've got Xbox Media Center, you've got a media server in your home network, and what you want to do is play some of that media on your Android phone. Wow.
Or make my HD TV more like a smart TV.
I see. Or go vice versa. Take stuff from your Android phone and put it on your TV?
Yeah.
Ah.
Like to play videos or stream Netflix.
And would it use DLNA? What would it use as the transport mechanism?
I don't know.
It's wireless, I would guess, right? You don't want to have to... Many Android phones have HDMI outputs, but boy, it'd be better to go wireless, I think. Let me see. I don't know anything about these, and let me ask if somebody in the chat room does, because I have not used them, and I've kind of an interesting idea, yeah. I have my Galaxy Note. That's a quad-core processor, 2 gigs of RAM. There's a lot of information, a lot of processing power in there, much more so than most of the smart TVs, in fact.
Yeah, I took a look at the G-Box Midnight, and it had capabilities with a lot of apps on there.
G-Box Midnight. That sounds good. I like the name. Nobody in the chat room seems to have an opinion on this, so I think we're going to have to just punt, I'm sorry to say. I haven't had any experience. I'll tell you what, would you try? Most of these are not expensive, right?
About less than $100.
Oh, they're that expensive. This is software or is it hardware as well?
Well, it's hardware, but it would use like an Android system for...
Oh, I'm sorry. I misunderstood. You're not talking about using your smartphone. You're talking about a piece of hardware, basically a set-top box based on Android.
Right.
I get it. $88 for the G-Box Midnight. Linux, XBMC media streaming, mini HT. So I get it. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. I have not tried these. I'm going to have to buy one of these and try them. So the idea is, and I've even seen USB sticks that, or little MHL HDMI sticks that have Android on here and are, supposed to be like a Roku box or something like that. Now, this is designed to be streaming content from the rest of your network, I would guess, yes? Or is that how you want to use it?
Like Netflix or...
or you want to use Netflix, okay.
Netflix or home videos that I want to stream there.
My guess is, and I'm looking at the reviews on Amazon, and while they're very positive, I think a couple of them say, this is for people with some technical skills. You can go out for the same price and get a Roku and do a lot of the same things. So unless your interest is, you're not going to save money. You may not even add capabilities. It's more, I want to hack around with something that's a little more open. But if you really just want to put Netflix on your TV, I'd get a Roku. Okay. I really would. I mean, this is going to be more open, more capable of being hacked with and played with, which some people want. But I think a Roku is probably a better idea.
Yeah, I was thinking of streaming, like my home files, video, MP3s, or anything like that.
Roku will do that as well.
Okay.
Yeah. And then you can add Plex to the Roku. It's in the Roku channel store, and you can do all of the same things. Plex is XBMC. It's based on XBMC. So it's really the reason they're doing it in Android is A, Android's free, but B, it's more hackable. You could play with it more. And I think unless that's your goal, I would probably go with a Roku. All right. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. I'll download. I'll get them download. I'll buy one of these. I wish you could download them. I'll buy one of these and I'll give you my opinion of it. So I did miss somebody. Would you help me out here, Kyle? We're having a little trouble with our call screening. Didn't somebody call and wanted to talk a little bit about Windows 8? Wasn't that? It was Daniel. All right, let's get Daniel on the line here from.
He dropped, so we're going to go to Dell in Paris, California.
Let's go to Dell. I'm sorry, Daniel. I share your pain with Windows 8. I guess that's the bottom line, and that's probably why you called. And I apologize for forgetting about you. Let's go to Dell in Paris, California. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hi, Leo. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Well, I'm good, but then again, I'm not my computer.
And you're not using Windows 8?
No.
All right.
I'm holding the line. Listen, I've got an Asus laptop. I don't know the exact model, but me and my wife both have Asus. My son has an HP. We're all Wi-Fi and all that good stuff.
All right.
Here's the thing. I've got a Pentium processor. Yeah, you always take care of your wife and kids better than you yourself.
You got a Pentium processor?
Yeah.
It's time to upgrade there. I'm going to give you permission. You're a good father. You're a good husband. But golly, Dell. Well, you deserve more than that.
Yeah. Maybe by Father's Day.
Aw.
The ugly tie.
Aw. Yeah, don't give me an ugly tie. Give me a i5, please. I beg of you.
Well, listen, here's what I'm wrestling with.
All right.
Somehow, I downloaded something on my computer that has affected a sector or something.
Okay.
That's what the computer tells me.
It says this has affected effector?
Yeah, that I guess I've got maybe a bad sector or something.
Oh, affected a sector. Oh, okay. Yeah, that may not be something you downloaded. That's just the hard drive. It's an old machine, and the hard drive's probably failing, Dell.
Okay. So it wants to do this sector thing.
Yeah. Hold on just a second. We'll get back to you in a second. We got to take a break. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. He wants to do check disk. Yeah.
Okay, we should be back and good now. Sorry about all that, Leo. All right, you're on.
Leo Laporte, the tech guy. 8888 Ask Leo. Dell is on the line. Poor guy. Old computer, hard drive reporting, sectors are bad. And is it asking you, Dell, if you want to use, if you'll use check disk? What is it asking you?
Yeah, that's it. It wants me to do the check disk.
Yeah, you should do that. You've never seen that before? My goodness, that was something you get a lot in the old days. So it's okay to run that.
Yeah, but it won't run it. because when I try to let it do the check disk, it says it needs to do a system restore first.
Oh,
But when I try
dear.
to do system restore, it says it needs to do the check disk.
Oh, dear. Yeah, your hard drive. So this computer is what, about 10 years old?
No. I bought, let me see.
Well, even if you bought it last year, it was a 10-year-old. It's a Pentium, you said.
Yeah.
Windows XP?
No, Windows 7.
Windows 7. Oh, it's more than a Pentium then.
I bought it from, I think it was Fry's Electronics.
Oh, okay. So I would say that this is not an old computer. This is a nice new computer. I would say, though, that your hard drive is having problems. It's not unusual. When a hard drive can't read sectors, it's going to give you this warning. I'm not sure why it wants to run system restore. It sounds to me like a part of the drive is not, some of the files are not, that it needs are not there. And that's, again, probably because the drive isn't doing so well. So, you know, at this point, there's not much you can do. You can't run the system restore and you can't run the check disk.
Yeah, like in an endless loop.
It's in an endless loop. And it won't let you just say, no, don't do it. I want to continue on.
Oh, yeah, it'll let me do that. I just push any key and it'll just go ahead.
So here's what I would do, Del. Make sure you have backups of your important data because this drive is not doing too well. If you were really in the mood to try to recover it, you could format the drive. The other thing you can do, and this is a good idea from the chat room, is exit out into safe mode's command prompt and try check disk from there.
Okay.
So what you'll do is you'll reboot the machine and you'll hold down the shift key as it's booting, or F8, sometimes it's F8, but shift key on a modern machine, and it'll give you the menu, the startup menu, before Windows loads, and one of the choices will be safe mode with command prompt.
Uh-huh.
And now what you're going to do is you're going to run a command line version of check disk. This should satisfy it.
Okay.
And now here's the command line. I'm going to give you the command line, and we'll put it in the chat notes too.
I'm looking for a pen, right?
Write this down because it's kind of kooky. We're now at the geek level. You're going to see this. Right. You're going to see that C prompt. It's going to say C colon.
Right.
And then you're going to type in CHKDSK. That's check disk. Space, and you're going to have 3 switches. That's 3 things that you're going to tell check disk. /F, which says fix it. And now I'm seeing a couple of choices in the chat room. One guy said /F/X as in X-ray /U. /F is for sure the one you at least need, and maybe /F/S.
Okay, let me read back what I got. When I get to C prompt, write check disk.
Yep.
/F as in Fox, /X as in X-ray.
Yep.
/U as in uniform.
Yep. And spaces between these slashes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just doing it by hand.
Okay.
Now, I'm looking at somebody in the chat room has put up a answers.microsoft.com post. We'll also put this in our show notes at techguylabs.com. My computer runs and prompts me to check my C drive for consistency on startup, but it is unable to check it due to a recent software installation. It tells me to use System Restore to restore to a point before the installation. This sounds like what's happening to you, right?
Yeah.
And then when I try to use System Restore, it says I can't restore because I need to run check disk first.
Yeah, that's it.
So, well, we're going to give you, that's the manual way to run check disk. Another answer from the community on this support page said, you might want to try running the repair routine that comes with your Windows 7 install disk. I like this. Do check disk by hand and see if that works.
Yeah. Now, I've got an external backup drive thingamajig.
Good.
My wife told me to get that.
She's good. A good woman. Good. So you're not at risk if the hard drive fails, and you know it doesn't mean it's going to fail if it has a few sector errors. Sector errors are normal on a hard drive. If you start having more and more, then it's on its way to failure. But frankly, I think this is pretty normal.
Okay, but yeah, I am planning on getting a new laptop.
It's not that old. No, I apologize. I forgot that Intel has brought the Pentium name back. You know, I thought you were talking an old Pentium from like 1992. I thought, wow, this guy really needs a new computer. But no, this is a modern computer. I mean, if you want, I can tell your wife you need a new one.
Slower than theirs.
Cobbler's kids never have new shoes. Just remember that, or something. Hey, thanks for the call, Del. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know why Intel did that. It seems like a dumb thing to do. They brought back an old brand name, the Pentium brand name, and really these are actually very fast processors, modern i3 processors, not the old Pentium processors. It's very confusing that Intel did this. Confused me. I forgot it. I forgot they did that. Perry in Southern California, Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hi, Perry.
Hey, Leo, thanks for taking my call, and I apologize. I just walked into a store, so let me see if I can get someplace where there's not so much noise here.
That's fine. It sounds fine.
Okay, I have a rather unusual problem, at least one I've never heard of in listening to your show. I have a small computer network in my home, and I have discovered that there is one company that I want to do business with, and I can't get to their websites. Internet Explorer and Google Search or Google both tell me that the page can't be displayed. Now, interestingly enough, what I've discovered is that if I bypass my network router, I can get to these websites.
Oh,
so I thought, aha, it must be the router. Well, I tried rebooting and all of those things that you normally try to do. In fact, I even went back to factory default settings, and no matter what I do, I can't get through to those two websites, and it's only those two websites. I can go any place else I want to, except for those two websites, which are controlled by the same company. So I called the company. I said, is it possible my IP address is blocked or something in your network? Why can't I get to your website? And they said, no, everybody else is not having any problems. It's just me. So I called one of these, computer support groups. They only charged me $100, and they said they did they took over my machine, ran some scans, and they said, the problem is you have a virus and you have...
Oh, my goodness.
Registry errors. And
no, it's not a virus. It's a problem with your router. You nailed it when you said it. You're absolutely right, because when you bypass the router, it works fine. The router is probably doing its own DNS, its own domain name lookup. So what I would do is go in the router's settings and fix the DNS entries. Use opendns.com. That's a better DNS anyway. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, 8888 Ask Leo. That's the phone number. We're talking about computers, the internet, and routers. Router is that thing, that box, that little device that you have on your network. Not everybody has one. You don't have to have one. But it's not uncommon if you have more than one computer on your internet connection. It used to be, sometimes they call it an internet sharing box. It's a router because it routes internet traffic from the outside world into your home network and says, okay, you go there, and so forth. Has some nice advantages to it. It acts as a firewall because it's the first thing on the internet, and so it's the thing that attackers will see when they attack your system. And it's a dumb box and can easily just fend off unwanted packets. Much better to have a dumb box than a smart box, because a smart box sometimes says, oh, yeah, I'll help you. I'll be glad to help you. Router just goes, I don't know. So, but a router can also cause problems, as it did for our last caller. It sounds like it's deciding to do its own domain name lookup. And usually, first thing I would do if a router's misbehaving is see if the company that makes the router has new firmware. Sometimes this is hard because your router may be provided by your cable or by your internet service provider, by your cable company or your DSL company. And if that's the case, they're often old. It's hard to figure out what model it is. It may be hard to get updates, and the cable company or the DSL company may not like you to make any changes at all. So it's if that's the case, it might be a little bit more difficult to fix this problem. If it's your own router, I would go to the router manufacturer's website and see if there's a firmware update. You can sometimes do that within the router and get the latest firmware. That will help. And then if it is a DNS lookup problem, if the router is doing DNS, then go into the router and give it some new DNS information. DNS servers, the big internet phone book that matches names to numbers. The internet works by numbers, but you work by names. So you enter in yahoo.com. It looks up, well, what's the number for that? And then tells that's how the internet contacts the server. It's like a phone number. That's why it's really much like a phone book. You look up a name and you get a phone number. If there is something going on in the DNS that you're using, yeah, that means that some sites won't work. They won't show up. They're not in the phone book, or the phone book's broken. But this is a really good replacement, I think. OpenDNS.com. It's free. What you do is you go into your router's DNS settings and you replace the numbers that are there with a pair of numbers, a pair of dotted quads, we call them. Those are those internet-style numbers, 207. Or 208.67.222.222. You replace those numbers in the router with these OpenDNS numbers, and in most cases, you're going to get a much better experience in general. Surfing will be faster and everything else. OpenDNS.com. They're really good, and it's more secure as well. I bet you one of those two things will fix it. First, update the firmware. It's a good idea anyway. Then, second, put in OpenDNS. Daniel in Hemet, California came back. I am so sorry, Daniel. Welcome back.
Oh, it's all right. I was getting down to the elevator music.
We have some of the best elevator music on hold here.
Oh, my gosh.
So,
I sit on hold all day with this.
I'm sorry. So you have Windows 8.
I do.
And what happened?
Well, when I got the computer, it wouldn't hold a connection to Wi-Fi. When I connect to any Wi-Fi, and first of all, I thought it was just my house because I've been having really bad problems with my Verizon internet, so I assumed it was a router. But then I took it somewhere else and I got my Wi-Fi fixed, and then I took it somewhere else and it was still doing it. It'll all of a sudden it'll just disconnect from the internet, and the little they'll say connection limited, the little yellow triangle with the exclamation point will come up.
Right.
I'll have to manually disconnect from the internet and then reconnect, and it'll be fine. It'll be fine for maybe 5 minutes or maybe 30 minutes, and then it'll do it again.
That sounds more like a hardware problem than anything else.
Well, see, that's what I was thinking, and I called Dell because I bought the extended hardware warranty.
Good.
So I called Dell. I said, hey, here's the deal. I told them. They said, oh, that's a software problem.
Oh, golly.
So what do I have to do to fix it? Well, you pay us $250.
What? You already bought the extended.
Yeah, I was like, that's outrageous. I said, this has been doing it since I got it. Well, you should have called when you first got it, man. Which is a 30-day free complimentary software service. So now I'm stuck because they use I work for a nonprofit, and I do a lot of like streaming music, and I host like a Minecraft server for kids. I can't do any of that because my computer won't hold a connection, and that's what I got it for. And,
Are you using and part of the problem Dell has is that Wi-Fi issues can be notoriously difficult to diagnose because, for instance, it might be something wrong with your router. You might be too far from the router. It could be a misconfiguration. You are using Windows 8, and Windows 8 apparently has some trouble with 802.11n.
Okay.
So you might try G or an earlier.
I said okay, not as in I understood, as in I'm just
okay. So your router will support 4 different protocols: A, B, G, and N, all 802.11. N is the latest, fastest, and the one you would use by default that you'd want to use. But just for sake of experiment, tell your software on your who makes it's Dell. It's a Windows 8 Dell. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Inspiron. I mean, I got it in October.
Yeah. Tell it to use not to use N.
How do I go about that?
That's a good question. I don't know. You have to go into this. You have to go into the software that comes, the Wi-Fi software, and look around.
Right. Okay.
That's one good thing to try anyway. That might be related to this kind of known problem. Maybe you'll have to go. Arbiter says, and you might be right, that you have to go into the router itself and say, "Don't use N."
Okay. And
whose router are you using? Is it your router or is it the DS?
Verizon's router.
It's Verizon.
Yeah.
Always fun.
Yeah, it's always fun.
Yeah.
Would I be better off just Well, you said that Dell's notorious for not being able to use that?
No, Windows 8 apparently has problems with some Wi-Fi.
Because when I talked to the tech guy for Dell, he said it looks like Windows 8 is having problems connecting.
Right.
Working with our software. I was like, well, wait, why is that a problem?
Right. Shouldn't.
Shouldn't.
But you got an early Windows 8 machine. You know, the first few machines that came out with Windows 8 were really Windows 7 machines that they just put Windows 8 on. You don't have touch, for instance.
No, I don't.
Yeah. So it could well be, no, that sounds like a crazy thing. Why would Dell do that? Well, they were rushing these Windows 8 machines out, and they're really Windows 7 machines out. Now, the other thing that, besides 802.11 A, B, G, or N, and going into the router and disabling N, the other thing that you could do is try a different frequency. You may, I don't know if the Verizon routers do this, 802...
This is a problem wherever I go.
Ah, that's interesting.
Yes, this will happen anywhere.
That's interesting. It's a problem wherever you go. Yeah, so I would say, and this now, this is something we've said for years. You almost always will have two choices on Wi-Fi software. You'll have the software that came from Microsoft, and then software that came from the manufacturer. And if one doesn't work, use the other one. So uninstall the Dell. It is their software. Uninstall the Dell Wi-Fi manager and use the built-in Windows Wi-Fi manager. See if that works better.
Okay.
These are all things to try. Can't guarantee it. Could just be a bad chip, but let's hope. Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Hey, Leo. How you doing?
I'm well. How, Dickie D?
I'm good. I'm sorry to hear you're a bit under the weather.
Oh, man. Whatever this thing is. Did Dennis get better right away?
Yeah, about 5 days, I think.
Oh, man. It's a cold, but it's just
they
lingering.
Yeah.
And it never really got bad, but now I've got a sinus headache that's just killing me. I
those
can't.
are the worst.
Yeah, once you get this, it's like I just want to lie down and...
It's usually, I don't like to be a pessimist, but I would say you have 2 months to live.
You know, at this point, I don't care. That's good. That's good news.
That's bad.
Can you shorten that amount of time? Could you make it an hour?
No.
Just enough time to settle my affairs.
No, show people always given an extra month to clear up things.
Oh, Lord. So you want to talk about a gadget today?
Sure. I'm going to do the car that we did on the Giz Wiz that has the built-in speakers and blinking lights and flipping gull wing doors and.
You know, I think all cars should have built-in lights.
Yes.
All right, here we go. More cowbell. I bet there are Arbiter. In fact, that's where I would go and do it. But that being the device manager, huh?
Hey, Leo, if you can give me a DSL Extreme Billboard Carbonite live read, and we're good to go.
You got it.
I can see all obstacles in my way.
This portion of the Tech Guy Show brought to you by my internet service provider, DSL Extreme, for high-speed internet at an amazing price. Call 866-2-GET-NET to get DSL Extreme. He is the Giz Wiz. Dick DeBartolo, for many years, Mad Magazine's maddest writer, but he's also a crazy gadget hound, and he comes to us each week with yet another gadget from Disneyland. Hello, Dickie D.
Leo, are you going to make it, pal?
I don't think I'm going to make it, Dick. You take over. The show is
chicken
yours.
soup into my mic as we speak.
It's all yours, Dick.
Okay, we're gonna talk about remote control cars.
I like it. I like that.
Yeah,
those are fun.
There's a company, Silverlit, and they kind of focus on making high-end replicas of high-end cars. And so the newest is the Mercedes-Benz SLS with RC remote control tunes. So now it's still an iOS controlled device. And so as you tilt your iPhone or iPad, the car can move right and left and you control the speed.
Oh, that's neat.
But
So a lot of cars are doing this now using iOS or smartphone controllers because they have accelerometers in them.
Yeah, exactly.
They can tell they're being tipped. It makes it easier. You can get a much better controller. Yeah.
But this is the first car I know of that has built-in speakers so that now you need an imagination because the company says it's like your remote control car is playing its radio. So
really loud.
Really loud. Yes, exactly. Yes. You've had those cars.
Does it have
go
a bass?
by,
Does it have a giant subwoofer in the back?
No, it does not. It does not. But what they've done is the car has signal lights, headlights, tail lights. And so they go on and off to the beat of the music you have picked to play through the car speaker.
Wow.
Now, yeah, but wait, there's more. There's more. So if you don't want to sit around and demo your car everywhere with your phone, you can also use it as an executive desk ornament and just have it sit there on the desk and play your tunes through the speakers that way. And
well,
then
now,
it's
how
your
does
choice.
it sound? Does it sound a little tinny or does
You know what, Leo? I actually heard it in a convention hall, so it's really impossible to guess what the sound is like. I mean, but you can just tell from the size of the car, which is I'm guessing 12 inches, 14 inches long. It's not going to be knockout amazing cars. The speaker faces up. It's in the roof. So it's going to be more a fun, gimmicky thing. But the model itself is pretty neat looking. So the gull-wing doors will move up and down to the beat of your music. The headlights, signal lights. It's a pretty nifty little car. It's $129 right now, only on the Silverlit's website. And if you want to join and become a member, you get 10% off. But then in April, May timeframe, it'll go into stores. And
I would wait until it's in stores so you can
I was just
listen
going
to
say,
it. Yeah.
my guess also is that once it hits Amazon, my guess is they're going to shoot for $99.99. Since that sounds way cheaper than $129.99.
This looks pretty cool, though, I got to admit.
It's pretty neat looking. It's a
Yeah.
very well-detailed model.
Yeah. And I love the idea you're driving with your iPhone and it's got the Mercedes steering wheel and the Mercedes logo on it and all of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's where the $29.99 goes to Mercedes.
I think so.
Dick has a website.
Oh, that's new.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
how
that's
exciting,
right.
huh?
Yeah, right.
Giz Wiz. Just leaving an opening there for you.
Okay.
GizWiz.biz. If you go there, you could see notes from all of the gadgets he mentions on this show and the other shows he does, including our regular weekly podcast, The Giz Wiz. We do that every week on Tuesdays. It's a lot of fun. And he also has the What the Heck Is It contest. Little more time to do the January, February What the Heck Is It game. There's a picture of a gadget, close-up picture of a gadget. Name it. You have a chance to win an autographed copy of Mad Magazine. Frankly, getting it right is less likely to win than just being clever and getting it wrong. He's got 12 Mad Magazines for the right answer, up to 24 for the cute, silly answers. And you'll be playing for the April issue of Mad Magazine. So that's gizwiz.biz. It's always fun. I mean, this is you don't do it to get rich.
No.
But you do it for
actually,
fun.
you kind of do it to get poor.
Yeah.
Isn't that the object?
Yeah. It makes Dick poor. Gizwiz.biz. Click the What the Heck Is It? And you can play the game. Last time it was some sort of weird cord snake, cord keeper.
Yeah, cord snake was a clever idea. It connected two extension cords together and held them together. So nothing worse than you're out in the garden with an electric leaf blower or something, and you walk another foot and the extension cords disconnect. So each thing is not a part of something. It's a real gadget.
Dick, will you stick around? We'll do a Giz Fizz right after the radio show.
Yes, sir. I will.
Don't go anywhere. More of a Dickie D for the podcast viewers after the radio show. Meanwhile, time for one more call. Harry in San Pedro, California. Leo Laporte. I pressed the button and nothing happened. Let me try again. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. Hi, Harry.
Hi, Leo. I was just calling for a backup. I'm a tax preparer, and I lost all my clients' file a couple of years ago where I didn't know about Carbonite.
Oh, that's gotta kill. That's just gotta kill you.
I know it literally killed me. I had to re-enter all my clients' information back up all the way again.
Oh, you're doing the ad for me, Harry.
I know. My question to you is, if I get Carbonite, does it back up tax returns?
Or back up any data files. It's really best to use Carbonite for smaller data files. Sometimes people say, Leo, I'm trying to back up my movie collection of 17 terabytes and it's taking forever. Well, of course it is, because it's using your upload. So it can't go in fact, it doesn't want to use up all your connection because you might still be using the internet. So it really trickles it up. But tax files, as you know, are not that big. Those are basically text files. So that kind of thing it's very good for. I would use, they have encryption capability, and I would use that because that's very private data. It's encrypted on the way up. It uses SSL, but I would further encrypt those files. In fact, I hope, Harry, you're paying attention to that in general. You've got Social Security numbers on there, a lot of personal information. I would hope that all of those tax files are stored in an encrypted folder that only you have the key to.
Okay.
And then make sure then you back up that encrypted folder. That way it's safe and it's also secure.
Okay, and it automatically backs up, right?
Yeah, it's automatic. Some files it doesn't do automatically, but you can go into the settings and select them. It doesn't, for that reason, automatically back up movies, for instance. But it will automatically back up everything in your documents folder and absolutely will back up those tax files. What's nice is, well, actually, if you use the encryption, you lose some of the advanced features like cloud storage, because obviously that you can't get to those encrypted files from another computer because you don't have the encryption. But everything else will work fine. Yeah, Harry, you really should be doing that. You don't want to lose those. You don't want to lose those again. You had to enter them all by hand.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it.
At least you had the data, right? Could have been worse. Thanks for the calls, Harry. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time. Have a great Geek Week. I'm Leo Laporte, the Tech Guy. The website is techguylabs.com. Bye-bye. Well, that's it for the Tech Guy Show for today. I'm Leo Laporte. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget, the Tech Guy is just the tip of the iceberg. We do nearly 30 shows now on the Twit Netcast Network, and you'll find them all at twit.tv. We talk about Windows on Windows Weekly, Macintosh on Mac Break Weekly, iPad on iPad Today. You get your daily dose of tech news from Tech News Today, and our weekly roundtable show, This Week in Tech. It's all at twit.tv. And I'll be back next time with another great Tech Guy podcast. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.